Welcome with the Flick. Ben Mankiewicz, Matt Atchity, I'm Alonso Duralde, and we're talking a little about the Disney acquisition of LucasFilm. It's the big
Do you always
thing
say
this week.
Duralde? I say Duralde? Is that
It's all good.
I say tomato.
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah, so Disney shelled out $4.05 billion. The 05 is $500 million, let's be clear. Let's not just something to just round up. For Lucasfilm, Lock, Stock, and Ewok, and they have announced the next Star Wars 7, Episode 7 is coming out in 2015, and they're going to make...
Which means that Disney's going to have a monster year that year because they also get
Avengers 2.
So that's going to be a huge year.
Yeah,
So-
it's a you know I got people were sending me tweets like what my reaction was and if I was excited and I don't know.
You're like,
No. I mean I guess I would say like intrigued a little because it takes it in a different direction. We don't know who's going to be directing these other than we know it won't be
George Lucas,
right.
which is already,
Right.
I think, a vote of confidence.
I can tell you as a Star Wars fan, I actually think that this is fantastic news. Now, there's a lot of Star Wars geeks out there who think this is terrible news. I think it's great.
Why do they think it's terrible news?
Because they fear change. Because nerds hate things that are different.
Well, but don't they also like? Haven't they made a career out of loving, hating Star Wars?
Yeah.
I mean, like, haven't they complained about everything since Return of the Jedi?
I think what's going to happen is, keeping Lucas on as creative consultant means basically he gets put out to pasture and he doesn't have final say. He's not going to be directing movies, and that'll allow them to get some real directors in there. I guarantee you, the Pixar guys like Brad Bird and John Lasseter are going to be lobbying to be able to direct a Star Wars movie. And as much as we, made fun of John Carter of Mars, I think John Lasseter doing a Star Wars movie could be great. Imagine Brad Bird doing one.
Well, yeah, I mean, because Brad Bird at least has proven himself as a live-action guy with Mission Impossible 4. I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea in terms of, they're going to ruin, this beautiful legacy, because I think that's kind of already happened. For me, I just worry a little. I always get uncomfortable when one company has all the marbles. And Disney already has Marvel Comics and the Muppets. And so to now also have Star Wars, it just I don't know, it feels like a lot. I'm curious about what other Lucasfilm properties are floating around out there. I mean, like, are we going to get a Radioland Murders reboot?
You'd be the Teddy Roosevelt of Hollywood. You'd be trust busting. You'd be dividing properties up.
I'm holding out for the Donald and Howard team up.
There you go.
I think that'll be great.
Meets duck.
Exactly. No, I look, as someone who's been reading a lot of Marvel comics since the Disney acquisition, Disney hasn't really seemed to overtly influence what's happening in the comics. I think that franchise, the Star Wars franchise, is going to be left to its own devices. I think we may see some more Indiana Jones at some point.
Now, is Indiana Jones included, or does Paramount still own that? Somebody was saying that wasn't part of the deal.
I think that's all going to get worked out.
Okay.
I think that there's all going to be that's all dependent upon Spielberg doing them anyway. So
independent of the corporate nature of this and what that means, and it's a totally relevant conversation. Were we sure that there were going to be episodes made? I mean, shouldn't Star Wars people in general be delighted with the main part of this news? They're bearing the lead. The main part of the news is
7, 8, and 9
are getting three more Star Wars episodes.
Which had been originally promised by Lucas when the first trilogy was in
back in the day.
And then he backed off from that. And he said
the only characters that were going to be in all 9 were the droids. So
Right.
I read a story today, this morning, that he had lunch with Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill over the summer and told them like that they didn't think it was coming at all. He said not so much that the Disney part was coming, but he was like 7, 8, 9 are going to happen, and he wouldn't be directing.
Harrison Ford, do we think, is he going to touch us with a 10-foot pole, or is he over? Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I would imagine. Would he touch anything? Would he touch another Indiana Jones again?
But Anthony Daniels just put money down on a new house because C-3PO,
He's in Clover.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just happened. We don't know where it's going to go, but we'll wait and see.
I'll tell you what I think is going to happen within the next 15 years. There's plenty of space up at Skywalker Ranch for a big Star Wars theme park.
Ooh. I just want the holiday special to come out on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think this conversation has led me to realize that I think I sent a tweet back to somebody who said, "Are you excited?" And I said, "Intrigued." Not so much excited, but intrigued. I'm not even sure I'm intrigued. Yeah.
All right then.
But it's because
as a Star Wars fan, I'm excited. I think it's going to pump new life into the franchise. I think you're going to see some new creative people come in without Lucas direct oversight. I think there's great possibilities.
No, and I would think of Star Wars fans, I think should unquestionably.
Yeah, and I think that Lucas being in less of a vacuum, where actually other people are having input and getting to say no to him, is a good thing.
Right.
So anyway, we'll see what happens. Check it out. Thanks for watching.